Let's be honest. We all know deep down that we should be physically active for a healthy long life. Yeah, we get it. But when you're a young adult trying to balance a new job, social life, while also figuring out how to, be a grown-up and skillfully dodging mini disasters, staying active can feel more like a luxury than a priority. As a kid, I was somewhat active in school. I was on the basketball team, I played handball occasionally, and was part of random school dances. I even joined the basketball club, where I played with people in different leagues than me, which honestly didn't end well because of an injury. Sadly, I stopped playing shortly after. However, physical fitness stopped being a suggestion or pastime activity when I began feeling pain in my back during and after any movement. This went on for 2 years. At some point, it got bad, really bad, to the point that I found it difficult to get out of bed without wincing, and commuting long hours was honestly a nightmare. This was all spurred on by my hunched posture and long commutes to university. Eventually, my doctor told me I've developed chronic back pain and was in danger of having several slipped discs in my spine. Scary. And honestly, taking the step to take care of my health and fix what's wrong was really difficult. I felt scared, uncertain, and alone. It affected my mood, my movement, my ability to enjoy the moment, and frankly, to do daily activities normally. But the thought of being in pain for the rest of my life terrified me much, much more. So, I decided to do something about it, and to the advice of my doctor, I began strength training with a coach who specializes in pain management, alongside physiotherapy. And it was life-changing. That's not to say that I'm all healed now. This is an ongoing process, and it's a lifelong process. But also, as someone who's not only in my 20s, but also has a busy schedule, I've realized that wanting to move your body is something, but maintaining that as part of a lifestyle is something else, especially when being at the gym feels really foreign to my untrained body. I am Hala Nasar, and this is How to Adult, a podcast from The National where we figure out the life skills nobody taught us, especially after graduation. In this episode, I've decided to learn how to break through those barriers and make fitness feel accessible, joyful, and sustainable. Stay tuned. A study done by the WHO last year showed that nearly 1/3, about 31%, of the world's adult population are physically inactive. That's 1.8 billion adults. Now, wanting to be physically active and trying to figure out how to do it for your body, and then actually going through with it, are all completely different things that honestly require a lot of willpower and consistency. It's almost like a constant internal battle of wanting to do what's right for your body, but battling all the thoughts of wanting to stay on your comfortable couch instead, or telling yourself you're too lazy to go to the gym, or too shy to work out in public, or woefully accepting that you have no idea what to do at the gym and decide to cancel the whole thing altogether. This is unfortunately all too relatable. And that is why today I have with me here at the National's podcast studio Reem and Caroline Kassab, a mother and daughter training instructor duo who have broken all the barriers that prevent us from taking care of our physical well-being. Reem has been an instructor for years, one of the first female instructors in Abu Dhabi, and now she's still going strong 30 years later. At the same time, Caroline expertly balances a busy life of working at a university while maintaining her physical fitness and instructing her own classes. Reem and Caroline, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
First, let's get this out of the way. What does it mean to be physically fit?
You want to take this?
I mean, everybody thinks that in order to be physically fit, you have to spend hours on end in the gym. That's a fallacy, in my opinion. You need to start baby steps. A lot of people, they just jump into it. For example, they have an event coming up, a wedding or something, and they just burn out and then they stop. I feel physical fitness is a way of life For me, it has been. For her, it has been. Many members of my family as well. And I believe that it's a mindset, the right mindset to have is to think that being physically active, there's a purpose for that. And the purpose is longevity. For me, I can see it now. I feel I am fitter now than when I started. So there must be some truth to it. You know what I mean? So that's as far as I think. People have to start baby steps and not complicated. There's a lot going on social media about fitness. Everybody has a view, but you have to find what's best for you.
And you've been instructing for 25 years.
Even more, yeah. I started in the US, actually, because I lived there. I was pregnant with her.
I think I inspired her career choice.
And then I was attending a gym, and then I figured, why not do this? Why not start to become a fitness instructor? So I hired somebody to help me with music, and I really was drawn into the group fitness world right away. So after I had her, I became really, really interested, and I got certified from the US, and it went on from there.
I want to ask Caroline, why is it such a huge burden on people to fit that into their busy lives?
I think there's many factors to it feeling overwhelming. Similar to what Mom just said, is that social media plays a big role in that, because when you look on social media, everyone who's in fitness seems like they have it all together. You know, they have
That's true.
Yeah, everything's like their meal prep and their workouts and their matching gym wear.
Even the matching gym wear.
I know.
There's so many colors that I want.
I know. And it's great in some aspects, but in other aspects, it can be intimidating for people who, don't you normally go to the gym and they feel like, oh, I need to either look a certain way or have a certain aesthetic in order to start, when that's not true. And we'll also get into this, but physical fitness doesn't just happen in a gym, right? It can look very, very different depending on who you are. But I think a mentality that I think has worked for me and people I've either clients of mine or friends is you make time for the things that are important. As busy as anyone is, you make time to, whether it's your career is like your number one priority, whether it's your family, whether it's your social life, and physical fitness should fit into that. And it doesn't have to be a huge commitment. Again, it doesn't have to be 7 days a week, 2 hours grueling in the gym.
Yeah, I think that's what people think when they get into that. But it's the balance that's really difficult between balancing a busy schedule while also being physically active, while thinking, okay, maybe I should go to the gym today. Oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah, and that's valid.
How do you balance that?
I actually I wasn't always active as a kid, to be honest. I was interested, but I wasn't like a sporty kid, right? I kind of just like, my mom obviously was teaching classes when I was like a teenager. She'd tell me, oh, Caroline, come to my class. I'd be, I want to go to the mall with my friends, Mom. Leave me alone. I think I was kind of interested in the gym as a kind of a hobby almost. When I was in university, I was a little more active than I was. And I think also the time, this was like 2012, that time was like the era of like social media, like Facebook and stuff. It was cool to go to the gym at that time.
Yeah.
So it was more like a social thing. It started off. And then eventually, like 4 years later, when I graduated university, I came back to Abu Dhabi. I lived most of my life in Abu Dhabi. I studied abroad, came back. My parents were still here. And I started going to the gym more regularly, and I started seeing, oh, this is something I actually want to pursue. I want to start teaching classes.
What was the push, though?
I think it was definitely embedded in my mind that movement is important. Even though it wasn't front of mind that like, oh, I actively did it every day as a teenager. But my mom obviously was a huge influence.
You saw it with your mom.
Yeah, and she never really, I'm not just saying this because she's sitting next to me, but she actually really never pressured me to like, oh, Caroline, like you need to exercise or you need to like lose weight or whatever it is. It was more like, it was more like, I just saw her having the time of her life up on stage, and a lot of her social life stemmed from her job and teaching classes and stuff. So it just always seemed like something fun to do, but I never really appreciated it until I was older. And I actually, like, through going to the gym myself, I kind of fell in love with like the group fitness aspect of it. And I was like, oh, I didn't even really think about it as, a career. I just like left university. I also studied business administration. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Kind of like maybe the purpose of this podcast is like, I didn't know how to adult at the time. So I was like,
we're just trying to adult here.
Exactly. And so I was just like, while I'm applying for jobs here and there, let me pursue like fitness as like, this is my, like where my passion. I never felt passion before. I never really played an instrument. I didn't find myself to be particularly artistic.
That's very relatable to a lot of people, I think.
And I just saw this as something, oh, hey, I'm good at this. I move pretty well. Maybe it's my genes, but I
like
was
mom, like daughter.
Yeah, I'm like, it came kind of naturally to me. I got certified in my first program. At the same time that happened, I actually got my day job. I work in a university. I still do. I still work in the same university that I started back in 2017. So this all happened at the same time. I kind of was just living my adult life, trying to figure it out. And I was doing both at the same time. And my fitness thing just grew and grew. And I started getting certified in more and more programs.
It's worked out.
It worked out, yeah. Yeah.
Well, Caroline here has been taught to be fit at a younger age because she was seeing you be fit, engage in that lifestyle, teach it to others, just be absorbed in it. And you started it after you had her, but she started it like at a younger age than when you started. Does it make a difference at what age a person starts to be fit? And how does that look like at different ages, maybe?
I do definitely think age plays a part in it. It doesn't mean that one is good or bad, but I think the way that you approach fitness would differ depending on what stage you are in life, how old you are, your current, how you train would look different. And when I say train, I don't mean like train for the Olympics, but your approach to what workouts you should probably do would differ depending on first your interests, but also where you are in life. And also, like, we're living right now in an era where there's a lot of research, there's so much information out there and the latest is that if you want to lead, like what Mom was talking about earlier, is like working out for longevity, which we think should be everyone's priority, you need to prioritize either building or maintaining your muscle mass. This is something that's
scary
super...
words.
I know, I'm sorry. It doesn't have to be scary. We all have muscle, guys. We just need to train it and keep it.
Yeah, maintain it and keep it. Yeah, I definitely agree with what she said. It's also, how can I put this into words? I just feel like I was drawn with my passion. I didn't think at the time when I started, I was just drawn to the programs that I was really felt fired up about. And I feel like that's a big factor in allowing me to present the program in a way that's going to resonate with the people who are attending, and then they're going to start to embrace it, because we get a lot of people who tell us, you have changed my life, you have come into my life, and I feel like now I'm loving fitness and I'm not giving up and I'm loyal to it, and it's become their lifestyle choice. So for me, that's a big thing when people tell you this, that I am affecting people's lives in a very positive way. And longevity is what we are all seeking, to be able to be functioning when I'm 98. I keep saying that in the class. We're working our hips so that we have these strong hips, and if I fall down, I'm not going to need anyone to pick me up. So it's so important. It's way beyond aesthetics.
Yeah, I think it is a mindset change, right? Yeah. Something I always try to keep front of mind, and I try to say often, is that we only have one body. You have to take care of it.
I'm so glad you brought up the mindset shift thing, because lots of people say that they lack the motivation to go to the gym or participate in a sport, let's say. But is it really only about motivation, or is there something else that's more important, like consistency?
Yeah, definitely. I think discipline or motivation, or whatever you want to call it, is overrated. Motivation definitely fluctuates for everyone. Whether you're somebody who works in fitness, whether you're just a casual gym goer, it definitely fluctuates from day to day. That's only human nature. The only thing that is that you can control is your consistency. And from day to day, I think that looks differently for everybody. It doesn't have to be you're on all the time. You're so like the mentality of the grind and the
grind.
Yeah. Like it's just
no pain, no gain.
Yeah, it's not. That's,
I live in the gym.
Yeah, and I think it's not a healthy approach, and it's not gonna. You're only gonna be able to hold that for so long. You're gonna eventually burn out. And when it could be a couple years, it could be a couple weeks, it depends. But if you really want to change, like what Mom was saying, your life, like if you want it to become a lifestyle, then you have to take baby steps.
How do you give motivation in your classes? How do you allow someone to recognize this is where I start, I guess?
I'm very much a people person. And I'm really, 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 I'll say that one more time, really focused on the people who are in the back row, who have one foot in, one foot out. I don't know the saying, but it's just, I focus on those people who are like, not sure if they're there. I give them lots of choices, lots of options of movement so that they don't feel like that they cannot do it. And we also give them options, maybe not to do the whole class. Stay well hydrated. We give them a lot of advice, and we stay after the class. We get there early. We try to connect with them on a personal level. So they feel that connection. Once they get that connection, they start to become motivated.
They want to come back.
Yes, they want to come back.
To see that their instructor cares about them. And really, and when we chat with participants, either before or after classes, you can start today and maybe take a couple of days off. If you're sore tomorrow, come later in the week. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be like...
This all or nothing. Yeah. It's a huge thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you see it on social media. You see it by people that are like fitness gurus or people that are very into fitness, and they're like, I can't take a day off, or I have to go every day.
That's the wrong way.
And it feels like there's a huge disparity between you and that person. Are you all in or not at all kind of mindset. I have chronic back pain and I couldn't sometimes get off bed easily or a crouch or any of these things that somebody in their 20s should be able to do. So that's when I started my gym journey. And I don't go often, but when I do, I notice that I don't feel back pain when I get into bed, or when I get up, it's a bit easier.
Yeah.
I don't hear the crackling.
It's liberating, isn't it?
It is.
And to see what your body's capable of if you just give it a bit of love. Our bodies were made to move. Yeah. And again, what movement looks would differ from person to person. Some people really love the gym. They love the whole culture around it. Some people are more social. They play paddle. They go to Pilates with their friends. They pick up a sport. They even go for long walks. It really depends, and also depends on what phase you are in life.
It can be anything, essentially, right?
Anything.
It's not about the gym only.
No, and it's also about finding what really interests you, because the fact is that if you are interested in something, you are going to pursue it and you are going to be consistent. This is the key. You got to find what suits you, what you are drawn to.
What do you think is the first step for somebody to find what...
Explore different areas. Go to different... There's so much out there that you can do. And I also want to reiterate a very important point is that people don't have to live in the gym. We said it earlier. You can do maybe 15 minutes. Maybe here at work, you can set up a mobility class just for you guys because you sit so much. That will help you. Maybe do like a chair workout where you're just moving up and down, standing, stretching. This is going to help you function. You're not going to feel, hopefully, the pain when you get out of bed. So this is way beyond aesthetics. Yes, it's important to look good and feel good about the way you look. But the problem I see sometimes is that, especially here in the Middle East, is that some women, they will do anything for the look, for the aesthetics. So they might resort to unhealthy ways. I don't know. So this kind of scares me because this is counterproductive for your health, for the whole point of fitness and health. We need to be focused on the big picture. Am I going to be able to walk when I'm 90? Am I going to need her assistance?
Yeah, like
You know?
performance and longevity
Yeah.
should be. And then the aesthetics will come with that.
And things change over time. Like when I started, it was just cardio. Like I was just a cardio bunny. Everybody knows me as the cardio bunny. But eventually I realized, no, I gotta...
Yeah, but you're still the cardio bunny.
I cannot relate to this.
I know,
will
same
tell you.
girl. I've just been a strength girly, which was interesting because I like obviously mom was a huge influence when I started my teaching journey, but yeah, I gravitated towards something completely different than she was doing, which I was just like, oh no, I want to be like mom. But then I was just like, I have to listen to my body as well.
Of course.
I have a different body type. I feel better doing so, and I mean obviously I still do my cardio, kind of have to, but
She's good at it too. Really
you
good.
kind of have to say that you're my mom.
No, it's
But
the
I
truth.
think to the point of exploring, again, your mindset is really, really powerful. And from what I understand, this podcast is geared towards like young adults. So I really thought about, it came to my realization. I was like, when you're in your phase of like your childhood, right? There's so much structure is like thrust upon you. Like you don't have much say in what you do, right? When you're in your school years, you're bound by the timetable of school, what your family decides, like when you study, when you shower, when you eat. It's all predetermined for you, and you just kind of go along, right? Then you transition. If you go to university, you have a little less structure, but you still have that structure, right? If you're attending classes, it depends on the class time, etc. Your social life is kind of like structured around that, all of that. Then when you're like flung into adulthood, into this, kind of like you don't know what you're doing. Maybe you haven't found your first job yet, or you have, and it's kind of like you don't know how to structure the rest of your time outside of work. You can either look at that as something really scary, or you can look at that as an exciting opportunity. You could be like, this is the first time in my life that I have autonomy on what I get to do, on how I spend my time. So again, the mindset of you could just feel overwhelmed and feel anxious and be like, oh no, like this is too much responsibility. I don't know, and I'm just gonna just go to work and stay at home. But is that really how I would ask myself? Is that how I want to live my life? Because it's really easy to slip into that, and then like months become years, and you're just like between work and home, and like whatever social life, if that's how you choose to spend your time. But it's like there could be so much more out there that you could be great at that you've never even explored because you didn't take that opportunity and that time to prioritize it.
Take agency of your own life, basically,
and be excited
explore.
about it because it's cool. Like it can be really, really life-changing. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's true.
But also for us who are older, I feel like maybe I'm jumping off the whole subject, but I feel like even the society nowadays, it's been for a while. Nowadays it's changed, but a long time ago, people would say, oh, she's in her 50s, oh, she's got to stop. I mean, what's she doing? She shouldn't be continuing this. But now it's all changing, which is great because we need to look at it as I can do it and I'm going to do what I'm able to do. And I want to keep doing it so that I'm able to live longer, happier, less chances of diseases, like all of this investing in my bank account, as she said.
Yeah.
You don't think about these things when you're younger, but they are like that's going to happen to all of us, right? And if you prioritize it from when you are able to at a young age, it's going to be so much easier. This isn't to say, to her point, and what we were talking about earlier, this isn't to say that there's an expiry date on when you can start. But if you're able to start younger, and even if it's 2-3 times a week, again, it's the whole all in or nothing. Like
Just
it definitely is better than nothing. And you will feel a difference even if you invest a little time and whatever time you may have. And I think in theory, it's always easy to say, oh, make time. But what does that look like? And I really think, I know that's not what we want to hear because it's hard, but back to the point of you have to create your own structure is like you have to plan. You have to plan in advance. Like we all make better choices when we decide things in advance versus when we're emotional or when we're on the spot or whatever it may be. There's a term in behavioral economics. It's called choice architecture. And businesses and companies use this to like influence the context in which either consumers or people make decisions to determine a better outcome. But we can take that as an inspiration and on an individual level and be like, what my choice architecture, I can, for example, right now, I know I have work tomorrow morning. I'm probably going to wake up. I might wake up a little later than I'm supposed to. I might take too much time to get ready. I'm going to be running late. So there's a good chance that I'm not going to be able to prepare breakfast at home, which would be the healthier option. I'm going to just grab something on the go because I'm running late. If I know that in advance and I have even 10 minutes to spare the night before to prepare something I can grab the next morning, that's an example of choice architecture.
Yeah.
I know that for example, I'm going to finish work really exhausted. If I go home and like my butt touches that couch, I'm just going to be there for the rest of the evening, right? So because I can anticipate this, I'll just pack my gym bag in the car, go from work to the gym, even for 30 minutes, and then come home and rest. So making those decisions in advance.
Basically, decisions for your future self.
Yes.
To thank your past self for making them.
Yeah.
Also, when I was pregnant with her and I was working in the US, I used to work in a department store. I was selling makeup. So I was pregnant, and way before I got pregnant with her, I would go to the gym before my shift because I knew I'm going to be standing all day and I want to get home and just put my feet up.
Yeah.
So it's also choices of when you want to fit in that session.
Right.
I would go before my shift, and that's going to make me feel good the next day at work. So it's also that choice.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me today.
God.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
having
It
us.
was a beautiful, fruitful conversation that I'm sure a lot of people will benefit from.
I hope so.
We hope so.
Yeah, it was fun.
We're
Great.
always here.
So, after this conversation, I've realized that physical well-being is more than just moving your body. It is body confidence, motivation, and consistency. And that sometimes requires a mindset shift. Starting a healthy life can begin at any age. The real deal is just knowing how to actually make fitness part of your lifestyle. I hope you found this episode helpful, especially if you've ever felt too anxious, too intimidated, or just too unsure on where to start. And if you liked this episode, please share it with a friend and leave us a word so we know we're doing well. Please remember to follow and subscribe to this channel and get in touch with us at thenationalnews.com on Instagram or The National News on TikTok, where a video version of this series will be published. Leave us your comments or questions there so we all learn how to adult together. I am Hala Nasar, the host and producer of this series. This episode was audio engineered by Arthur Edson, and Dua Farid is our editor. See you next week.